Hello beautiful soul, welcome to day one of this 7-day yoga course for the chakras. Today we're focusing on the root chakra, so this is going to be a really lovely flow to help you feel grounded and connected. So I will see you on the mat and let's begin. We will begin here in a child's pose, so bring the big toes together and your legs are as wide as feels comfortable for you. The wider they are, the more of a stretch you're going to feel, so see what feels good for you. And then begin to walk your hands in front of you, dropping your forehead to the mat. And start to bring your attention to your breath. Taking a deep breath in through your nose and exhaling through your nose. And continue connecting to your breath, feeling it moving throughout your body. You can imagine yourself like a seed here, planting the intention for your day or perhaps even your week ahead. What seeds are you planting? Seeds of joy, fulfillment, health. You can imagine planting them now. And slowly begin to roll up into tabletop pose, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and we'll do a few rounds of cat and cow. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, push the shoulders back. And exhale, round the spine, drawing your chin in towards your chest, core engaged. And again, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Inhale. And exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. And one more time. See if you can really lift up, push into your fingertips. And round the spine, pushing into your hands, really stretching out your back. And come back to a neutral tabletop pose. Engage your core, that means suck the belly button up towards the spine and begin to kick your right leg up to the sky. And we're going to do some hip circles from here, so you can draw the knee around in a circle one way and back around. You're going to take your time with this. You might hear some hip clicks. That's a good sign. You're bringing that flexibility back. And wherever you are, draw the circle the other direction, up and around. Feeling into this movement, connecting to your breath. And then bring that right foot in between your hands at the top of the mat for a low lunge. And just hold here, you can come onto your fingertips. Make sure your spine is straight, not that you're dumping into your leg. Really elongate. And then push back, straighten the right leg into a hamstring stretch. You can move your fingertips back. And then push back into a low lunge. Each time you do this, you'll feel more and more open. And then push back, hamstring stretch. And one more time, low lunge, you're doing amazing. And hamstring stretch, the last time. And then come back into your low lunge, engage your core and lift your branches, your arms up to the sky, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. And bring your left hand behind you to catch a hold of whatever you can. Maybe it's the back of the hamstring, maybe it's the calf, and then extend the other arm overhead. And then slowly come back to the top of the mat, and we'll move back into our tabletop pose. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and we'll do those hip circles again on the other side. So this time, core engage, suck that belly button in, your left leg kicks up to the sky, and begin to draw those hip circles, moving the leg in one direction. Can you connect to your breath? As you inhale, you lift up. As you exhale, you move the leg around. And switching sides, moving it in the other direction. Amazing. And this time, bring the left foot to the top of the mat. In between your hands, you can come onto your fingertips and just feel a nice stretch into your legs. And you might notice one side feels more flexible than the other. That's completely normal. It's really good to stretch out the hip flexors every day and push back into your hamstring stretch. So begin to straighten the left leg. You can move those fingertips back. And back into a low lunge. Push back, hamstring stretch. Low lunge. Final time, hamstring stretch, push back. If you've got a bend in the knee as well, that is fine. The more you practice, the more flexible you will become. And back into the low lunge, and this time engage the core and lift both arms up straight to the sky. And again, you'll bring your right hand behind you. Maybe you catch a hold of the hamstring or the calf or wherever you can get a hold of, and extend the left arm up overhead. Feeling a nice side twist in your body. And then come back to the top of the mat, and we'll push back into downward facing dog. So push into your hands, lift up into an upside down V position. So you can keep a bend in your knees as well. Your heels don't have to touch the mat at all. And then just begin to bend one knee and then the other, pushing into one heel, pushing into the other one, just creating space in your legs. On your next inhale, engage the core and lift the right leg up straight to the sky, as high as it will go. And then bring it forward again in between your hands, but this time we're coming up into a high lunge. So engage the core and lift both arms up straight to the sky. And we'll work a little bit on balance as well as strength, really tapping into that root chakra. So begin to drop your left knee down to the mat and then push into the right heel to lift back up again. We'll just do that twice more. So lower down, bring the knee to the mat, push into the heel, lift up. One more time. Drop the knee to the mat. You're doing amazing, and lift up. And then step your left leg to the top of the mat, and we will try a tree pose, which is very relevant to the root chakra. So I'll show you how to do this. With your right foot planted on the earth, begin to lift the left foot up. You can keep it balanced on the mat, or you can bring it to the side of the leg or into the inner thigh. Wherever you feel that balance, really engage the core, suck in that belly button. You can have your hands on your hips here. Really focusing on a point that's not moving is really going to help And if you're wobbling, that's fine. You know, it's windy right now, there's trees dancing in the wind. You can also bring your hands into prayer position as well. Or you can also lift your arms straight up to the sky. Make sure to keep breathing. Sometimes when things get difficult in yoga, we tend to hold our breath. And you find that grounded energy here. You can imagine roots growing underneath your right foot. You are supported. And slowly release. You might want to shake those legs out. And we'll simply step back into a downward facing dog. So slowly come down, roll your body all the way down to the earth, fingertips touching the mat. You can keep a generous bend in your knees, and then begin to step back again into your downward facing dog. And this time you might notice you've created already a little bit more space in your legs. So inhale, begin to lift the left leg up straight to the sky. And then bring it forward in between your fingers, in between your hands, core engaged, lift up for a high lunge. Well done. And we'll also do the same as we did on the other side. So begin to lower the right knee down to the mat, gently tap it, and then push into the left heel to lift up. Just twice more, so inhale, drop the knee to the mat. And then exhale, lift up. One more time, inhale, drop the knee down. And then lift up, well done. And then simply step to the top of the mat. And we'll do tree pose on the other side. So this time around, your left foot is planted on the mat. And your right leg, you can either keep it balanced on the leg, the side of the leg, or the inner thigh, wherever feels good for you. Try and replicate what you did on the other side. You can have your hands in prayer position at the front of your heart. You can have hands on your hips or both hands straight up to the sky. Make sure to keep that core engaged. You'll definitely find that one side is stronger, and that's normal. And just connect to your breath as well. Don't hold your breath when it gets hard. Your breath is what will get you through. You're doing amazing, and slowly release that leg and just wiggle those feet out. And we'll do the same thing as we did before, but this time we'll change it up a bit. So slowly begin to roll down, keeping a bend in your knees, rolling through your spine till your fingertips reach the mat. And then you can hold on to opposite elbows and begin to sway side to side for ragdoll. Releasing any tension in your lower back. This should feel really good. And then release your fingertips to the mat and begin to walk your feet out a little bit wider, probably wider than your mat. And begin to pivot your feet outwards and start to sink low into your hips for a yogi squat. You might stay on your tippy toes for this, but if you can place your heels down and use your elbows to push the legs apart. So I'll show you from this side. It's not the most attractive pose to show, but this is a yogi squat. It's really great if you sit a lot. It's great for strengthening the hip flexors. Really lift through the spine. Don't begin to dump in. Really lift up. You can sway side to side. If you're on your fingertips, that's amazing. And then slowly lower the glutes to the mat. And you can roll down onto your back. And we'll just set up for a bridge pose, which is a really great grounding pose considering it's day one for the root chakra. So bend your knees, bring your hands beside you, and then push into your heels as you tuck your tailbone under, pushing your glutes up to the sky. So really squeeze your glutes here. Make sure your legs are staying quite close in towards each other. Sometimes the tendency is to open them up wide, so really hug them in. Keep the core engaged, squeeze in the glutes. remembering to breathe. I'll tell you a lot during these 7 days to breathe because we always forget. Deep breaths. And then slowly lower the glutes to the mat and bring both knees in towards you and just sway from side to side, releasing your lower back. And depending on when you're doing this day one, whether it's the morning, afternoon, evening, I like to finish the classes off in Shavasana. If you're worried you might fall asleep, you can come into a seated position and do a meditation. Or if you'd like to join me in Shavasana, we begin to straighten the legs out, bringing the hands beside you, palms facing up. And then you can slowly begin to close your eyes, feeling the effects of this practice on your body today. Can you release the tension in your face, in your jaw? Just really feel yourself melting into the ground beneath you. And we'll stay here for a minute or so. If you find your mind wandering, that's okay, that's normal. Just bring it back to the breath. And enjoy these next few moments of silence. Begin to deepen your breath, coming back into your body. You might want to wiggle your fingers and toes, or stretch your hands back behind you. And then you can bend your knees and come onto one side of the mat. Pushing into your hand to take a seat. If you're already seated, please remain seated. So we all come into a cross-legged position or whatever comfortable seating position you like to take. And bring both arms straight out beside you. Let's gather this energy of the root chakra into the palms of our hands and bringing that into our heart center. And we bow forward to honor ourselves, honor our practice. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing day one of the root chakra. You also have a affirmation meditation as well that you can follow along with after this if you want to. It's affirmations related to feeling grounded and connected and feeling safe. So if you'd like to listen to that, it's a really great addition to add after the yoga. And I'm looking forward to practicing with you again for day 2. I'll see you then.
This is part of my 7-day chakra yoga and meditation course, which comes with 7 exclusive yoga videos, 7 exclusive affirmation meditations to help you connect with all the chakras to heal and balance them. You can check out the description below for all the information, and I hope you sign up.